When I first came to Cornerstone, the community was once known as a war zone because of the drive-by shootings, the gang activity, prostitution, a lot of homelessness. On average, the income is less than $16,000 a year, and so there's a great need. We are in a community where 97% of the children are coming from a single-family home. 58% of the grandparents are raising at least one grandchild. And so there's just huge needs and huge gaps of services. So we engaged in doing a lot of community ministries geared towards meeting the community at a point of a felt need as a way of bridging the gap to their real need. And so all of our ministries are evangelistically focused and really geared towards not only meeting the physical needs of people, but also connecting them to their spiritual need. So what we attempt to do is, because our church is in a community that has huge need, and a lot of times the suburban churches, there are resources available, is connecting those two. And so we've been real thankful and blessed that churches have found favor with what we're trying to do in this particular community. And networking with them has allowed us to do a number of ministries at Cornerstone that we otherwise would not have the resources to be able to do.
There are about 10 churches that serve down here and that have become a part. And so we've given them Saturdays that they can serve and Thursdays when they can serve. The primary purpose of my job is to get the people out of the pews and help them have an awesome opportunity to serve the Lord so that they can develop their life into a fully developing follower by getting into missions. Everything we start, we find a life group or another church to take leadership.
Our life group comes down here. There's probably an average of about 15 of us come down. We're down here probably about 3 hours, and there are other groups that do the same thing on different days.
We give people clothes and blankets, coats, and I just feel fulfilled every Thursday. I think I get more out of it than maybe they do. I really enjoy it.
My husband and I went home, cleaned out our closets, got our kids, everybody clean out what you've got, old jeans, anything you've got, bring it and let's do it. And it wasn't necessarily that it was stuff that we didn't need, it's stuff that we didn't use that often and somebody else could use. It was a greater need.
The more opportunities that I've had to serve God, especially through other people, the more I actually am blessed and get to learn. I just find that when we think we're helping, God's actually teaching us things.
Every life group should have something other than just sit in class and say, "Fill me," you know. You need to get out and be a part of the community.
As we serve together as a life group up there, we get to know each other better, and you know, it helps you to become closer as a group.
There was a call for volunteers to come work this dental clinic. And as a Christian, I think it's extremely important that those of us who have been given a lot, that we have the opportunity to be able to give to others who are in need.
There's patients here that are, people from around this neighborhood that aren't fortunate enough to be able to afford dental work. And they get in a predicament where they have an emergency situation. And what we do is we help them, we pray for them, and we take out their bad tooth. You know, when you meet those physical needs and you're able to get someone out of pain, which is a powerful thing, it just opens their heart up to listening.
That's a tremendous feeling when we know we are doing something that's God's work and we're also doing something that's benefiting these folks. That, to me, that's worth more than money.
They're so concerned that it's going to hurt, and they're so concerned that they're not going to do well in the chair. And you get in there, you pray with them, you hold their hands, and you tell them it's going to be all right.
We've had great response from the community in terms of Cornerstone being the church in this neighborhood, and it's in line with our passion to develop indigenous leadership, and so they understand our heart for serving the neighborhood, and of course by having come through the ministry, it is their way of paying it forward, of giving back to their neighborhood.
I know how it is to be out there homeless, in the struggle, not eating, and that's why I come down here and serve.
While I was in my addiction, Cornerstone always had a place for me to shower, somewhere to put clothes on my back when I didn't have it, a chapel to sit in while it was cold outside, and they've always helped me out. I volunteer because it helps me out seeing people on the other side where I've been, in addiction for many years, and to pray with them and fellowship with them and let them know that there is a way out of it.
Coming out into a church like that. They would just be willing to take me under the wings, even in the past, as I was a drug addict, abuser of everything I did. They just took me in. It felt actually someone really cared about me.
We really want the community to see this as their church and their ministry, and not our church and our ministry. And over the years, we've seen that transition take place where the community feels like this is their church.